You're going to want to avoid these drop shipping mistakes that I'm about to show you because they could lose you thousands of dollars. In fact, I'm going to show you the secret we use to get a store to over $1,000 a day in sales drop shipping on Walmart, one of the biggest platforms on the planet. What's up everyone? Hurricane Liz here, and I'm back. And today I'm going to show you that Walmart stores in 2024 are still cranking out $1,000 a day with ease. It's even easier than a squirrel doing math on a calculator. You guys are gonna see that and a heck of a lot more. So I'm super fired up for this video. I hope you're fired up. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into my screen share in a second and show you guys the secrets that it takes to make $1,000 a day on Walmart dropshipping. And I think you're gonna be surprised at how quick and easy this really can be. And if you stick till the end of this, I'm also gonna show you our #1 partner. This is the #1 supplier we use in order to make things run smoothly. And this is the supplier that out of every other supplier there is, you will always be able to drop ship with this supplier. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the store that I'm going to show you right now is less than 2 months going. So what do I mean by that? I mean that we started this store back on March 21st. And so we are just about 2 months. So we're at the 2-month point, and this store has already made well over $1,000 in profit. And if we go and take a look at what's been going on with this store, we will notice that an overview shows that in the last 7 days, this store made $6,183.58, which means that almost every day it did $1,000. So this is $1,000 on the 17th, which is like when the 17th was on Friday. Then it did $857 on Saturday, $984 on Sunday, $994 on Monday, and here we go again, $1,179 on Tuesday and $1,149 on Wednesday. So almost 7 days, $1,000 per day, and it only took 2 months. You might be wondering, well, how did this happen? I'm gonna tell you how it happened, and I'm also gonna give you a couple of the secrets of why it happened, as well as a couple of the pitfalls that you want to avoid. All right, so let's first talk about how it happened. How can a store that's only 2 months old already make $1,000? That's typically not the way it goes on Walmart, and you are correct in saying that. So the way that it happened is this is a store that had to start over again. So what really happened on this particular store is that it was an older store. It sat there for a long period of time, and then once it came back, then we could push it pretty hard because of the fact that it had some age on it. So ultimately it came down to, let's get our first payout, let's put that money in the bank, and then let's continue to start to build this store and scale it very quickly, as opposed to a newer store that takes its time, right? So this store was able to reach the $1,000 fairly quickly. In fact, it hit it in month 1. And now you see that really the sky is the limit, and it all depends on the budget of the owner. So what does that mean? That means that the person that owns this store has to make a decision as to how much they have available in order to spend on the store, which obviously makes sense. But now let's go ahead and go into a couple of the factors and why it was so successful. Obviously, age is one of them, but that's not the only factor that contributes to success of a store, because you can still have the same level of success with the newer store. It's just gonna take a little more time. Anybody that sells you on the idea that this can be done fast and furious, and that you're the next Vin Diesel, is absolutely lying to you. This is a slow and steady process. Be prepared to be the tortoise here, and the only hair that we're going to see is someone with an older store. So if you have an older store, yes, you can scale it faster. If it's newer, you're going to have to hang on and wait a little while longer. Let's talk about another factor for success here. That is having a store, right? If you don't have a store, that is going to be your single biggest obstacle to getting on the platform and making money. Other than that, it's child's play. A squirrel on a computer could make money on Walmart just because of the amount of traffic that they have going to the site. And you can pretty much take other people's products, list them, and make money off of. This, at the end of the day, folks, is drop shipping. So remember that a squirrel on a computer can do this. The #1 biggest obstacle you're going to have is getting a store. So getting the store is crucial. If you have the money to buy one, I certainly would, even though they're not cheap. Stores typically range anywhere from 5 to 8K, and I see them even higher right now during high season, which it's going to start. The other thing is that if you have multiple LLCs, I do recommend you try and start one yourself. There are a couple key elements that you can put on your store, that there are a couple key elements that you can tag onto your LLC that should certainly help it get approved. And again, you can never really tell with the Walmart store approval algorithm. Sometimes they give it to complete noobs, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't even let people that make millions of dollars a year get on the platform. So that's still all up in air. I don't even think Walmart knows what entirely they're looking for. Finally, I think a lot of people put too much emphasis on having this really elaborately designed website in order to get approved for Walmart. And the reality is most of the stores that we get approved, while they do have a URL, they do not even have a store. So what do I mean by that? I mean that they literally register the domain, so it could be yourstorename.com, and yet they don't put a single thing on that URL, and those still get approved. The key comes down to having an email with your domain name attached to it. So what I mean by that is if I have a store called Liz's Store LLC, then my domain should be Liz's Store, liz@lizsstore.com, something like that. That way they see it's a legit email from a legit domain, and you don't even have to have a single thing on the domain and they still get approved. Now that we know what it takes to be successful on Walmart, and I know you guys see it, you can make a lot of money, but what pitfalls should you avoid if you're going to succeed on this platform? Well, first and foremost, it's having the right partners. So what do I mean by that? I mean, not only the right suppliers, which I will reveal that supplier here before I finish this video, but I also mean the right team. A lot of people want to either do it themselves or they try and hire every guy on Fiverr under the moon and the sun and the stars. And those guys, typically it's gonna be hit or miss. It's like you're more or less playing Russian roulette, or even worse, you're flipping a coin. So make sure you get a recommendation, or you know somebody that's legit and does this full time and has done this for many years. And in case you are in need of somebody like that, take a look below. My contact information is there. We do run teams. We do run stores for several people. And so we have a tremendous team that I've worked with for years and years. So picking the right partner is, again, crucial. The second one we've already touched on, which is do not scale unless your store has age. And already I've beat that like a dead horse, so we don't need to touch that again. And then finally, it's what is the right partner in terms of suppliers. I see a lot of people make this mistake, especially brand new people. They tend to want to use Amazon and Walmart. And while yes, people, you can use Walmart to supply yourself for a Walmart store, which kind of blows your mind, right? You don't want to do it long enough because eventually Walmart will catch on. So what store do we use in order to scale our stores to this high? Well, one of the major suppliers that we use, and get ready for it, is Home Depot. So Home Depot tends to be pretty lenient if you do certain things. I highly recommend that supplier among others, but I certainly would never use, again, Amazon, Walmart, Sam's Club, or Costco. You're only looking to get stung if you continue to use those suppliers, and eventually Walmart will catch on, and again, they'll boot you from the platform. Walmart is the only platform I know that really never gives chances. When they give you a chance, it's a suspension, but typically that means that a termination is right around the corner. There is literally no plan of action that you can submit to come back from a Walmart termination. It is very different from Amazon. They both have their positives and negatives. Still, overall, I prefer Walmart in general, especially if you do it the right way, and especially if you work with the right partners. You can pretty much anticipate to have a very long career on the platform, a very profitable store, and a very happy life, for the simple fact that if you're not doing this yourself, somebody else is doing it for you and putting money in your bank account. So again, I just want to remind everybody, my contact information is below in case you do want to start a store and you want to have a discussion on how to do so. So other than that, questions and comments go below. I always personally answer those, and I'll see you guys next time.